how to make money as a kid. Are you sick of your child using you like their own personal bank machine? Fair enough. If you want to keep your kids' hands out of your wallet, then we need to look at some ways of how to make money as a kid. In our last video, we talked about whether or not to give your child an allowance or have them make their own money. And today, I'm going to share some fun ways that your child can make their own money. Plus, I'm going to share with you the one thing that your child can do to actually set themselves up financially for the rest of their lives. So, let's dive in. Hi, I'm Amanda Vandergulik from Clever Dough Kids, where I teach financial literacy for kids. And on my channel, you'll also find entrepreneurship and abundance mindset. So if that's something you're interested in, then do make sure to click subscribe, and then you'll know the minute my next video comes out to help you with any of those things. Okay, so before we go into ways that your kid can make money, I want you to think about what are things that your child is interested in, because if they find ways to earn money that they don't like, they're not going to stick to it. And then they're not going to build up enough money to achieve their goals, what we talked about in the goal setting for kids video. And they're not going to find ways to stay motivated, to want to learn how to manage their money so they really truly value their money. So we need to first look at what do they naturally find interesting. And then we find ways for kids to make money around those things. So take a look at your child. What are their passions? What do they naturally have a talent for? What are their interests that they're always talking about? And then we take those and find ways for kids to earn money. Okay, so the first thing is, let's take your child and sit down with them, give them a piece of paper and have them just brainstorm everything that they're interested in. Maybe they love playing on the computer games, maybe they love playing soccer, maybe they love just hanging out with their friends, maybe they love watching or playing with kids, or maybe they just have a passion for baking. Whatever it is that your child is interested in, dancing, singing, whatever it is, have them write down every single thing that they love doing, that they have a natural passion for, and that they have natural talents for. So they have a huge base of things that they can start with. Because if they don't love what they're doing, you're going to have a huge fight on your hands. And speaking of hands, we don't want those hands to go back into your wallet, right? Okay, now that being said, it doesn't mean that your child can't do jobs that they don't have a particular interest for, but they need to find it interesting. Let me give you an example. So my daughter, when she was a little girl, about 5 years old, we were sitting at my mom's kitchen table and my mom was folding a plastic bag to put in her bag cupboard because she'd found this way to fold plastic bags into these little triangles, and then she'd pop it in one bag, and then it took so much less space in the cupboard, so she didn't have like big bulging bags in the cupboard, right? And my daughter was like, oh wow, Grandma, how do you do that? Can I try it? And so Xanthi would sit there and my mom taught her how to fold it like this and flip it like this and then tuck it in here, and you had this little triangle, and she loved it because she's creative and she loves crafting. So it was kind of like crafting but with bags. It was kind of like a plastic bag origami, right? So even though she didn't have a particular interest in plastic bags or in saving space in her grandmother's cupboard, she did have an interest in folding paper into origami, and she thought that this folding plastic bags was kind of like folding it into origami, little triangles. Go figure. Hey, she was 5. Anyway, my mom saw this as an opportunity to help my daughter start understanding money. So she offered to pay for 1 penny per bag. And so my daughter happily sat and folded bags, and after she'd folded a bunch of them, they counted them together, and then my mom would pay her a penny for each bag. I know pennies are obsolete now in most countries, but we still had some, and that's what we used. And then we just exchanged the pennies for nickels, dimes, quarters, and so on. The really cool thing about this is that after about a week, she had folded 100 bags. And so she had 100 pennies and she was so excited. And we went to a local fair. And at the fair, there was this big Ferris wheel. And she looked at the Ferris wheel. She really wanted to go on the Ferris wheel. And she was like, Mommy, 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 can I please go on the Ferris wheel? And right beside the entrance, there was a big sign that said 3 tickets. So she asked, because she saw the number 3. She couldn't read tickets yet. But she saw the number 3 and she's like, Mommy, what does that mean? What does that mean? And so I said, oh, well, it means that ride costs 3 tickets. And she looked at me kind of funny, like, what does that mean? And so then I explained it to her. I said, well, we have to buy tickets and the tickets cost $1. So this ride costs $3. And she still kind of looked at me funny, and I knew she wouldn't. I knew literally the penny wasn't dropping, right? So I remembered the bags and I said, oh, remember those bags that you folded for Grandmommy? And she proudly said, yeah, I remember. And I said, you folded 100 bags. Remember that? She's like, yeah, she was really proud about that. And I said, well, 100 pennies that you got for the bags is how many pennies are in $1. So $1 is the same as 100 bags of folding. Her mouth dropped. That's a lot of bags, she said. I said, I know. And this ride costs 3 tickets, so $3, which means you'd have to fold 100 bags 3 times. She was flabbergasted. And that is literally when the penny dropped and the value of money really sunk in, because it had taken her a long time to fold 100 bags. And it was great. And I still took her on the ride and she was like, are you sure? Like, that's a lot of money. I said, you deserve it, sweetheart. So, we worked hard and we came here to have some fun. So it wasn't one of the things to question, but boy, did she really appreciate that Ferris ride. Okay, so let's start with some fun ways for kids to make money that are offline, okay? Because we're going to do some online ways and some offline ways that you can make money from home and so on. Does your child love being in the kitchen? Because there is always the traditional lemonade stand, right? So if your child really has a passion for food and for drinks, then a lemonade stand will be a great way for your child to make money. But where is your child going to have a lemonade stand? Now, we lived in the country, so like nobody would go past our driveway. So having a lemonade stand at the end of our driveway was not going to work. So what we did for my children, for Xanthi and Quinn, is we actually would time it with my sister's yard sales. And then we would take a corner of her yard, because she did live in a populated area. And while she was having her yard sale, then my kids and her kids would have a lemonade stand at the end of the driveway. And when people came to browse the yard sale, then they could buy lemonade. It definitely helped if it was sunny and hot and people got thirsty. And a really cool thing was the mindset. So my daughter and her cousins, they would be like, oh, would you like some lemonade? My son was totally different. It was really cute. He would just march right up to people and go, hi, you want lemonade? It wasn't a question. It was just a fact. You want lemonade. And he was so adorable at it, because he was literally like 3 or 4 years old, that they just were like, of course I would like lemonade. And they'd go over and buy lemonade. And his sister was actually really upset about it, because that particular lemonade stand, we had decided he was going to run a lemonade stand because she really liked face painting. So she had a face painting stand. And so he was making all this lemonade money. Nobody wanted to have their faces painted because it was mostly adults. And so she was really upset about this. So then I said to her, well, what could adults do? Because, honey, adults don't want their faces painted, right? But they don't mind having a drink. So be creative and have a look. And then she noticed that one of the ladies that came to look at the yard sale had a tattoo on their arm. And so she was like, what if I did arm painting? And I said, that's a great idea. So instead of face painting, she did tattoo painting. And so she would draw little butterflies and little ladybugs and flowers and whatever it was that they wanted. And again, because she was cute and adorable, again, she was like 5 or 6 years old, and she was offering something that they could hide or that was not very obtrusive, not covering their whole face, people were happy to have her paint, and it made her happy. They got happy. It was perfect. So finding something fun like that for your child to do is a great way. And I have a pro tip for you. So if you don't have an area where it's good traffic for a lemonade stand or a face painting or a tattoo painting stand, then if you also don't have a relative like I did with my sister, you can actually go to other people who are having garage sales and ask if they can rent a corner of the garage sale. And that way your child also would learn what it is like once we grow up to rent a space and to pay for that space and then earn enough money to pay for the space and still make a profit, right? So that's another great thing that you can do. Now, I do want to caution the lemonade stand thing, because I know in certain countries there are certain legal rules. Make sure you check out with your local legislator what is allowed, because you might need a special permission. So do your due diligence. But otherwise, a lemonade stand is a great way. And in just a minute, after we go over some more fun ways for kids to make money, I'm also going to share a special tip about lemonade stands that your child can actually use with pretty much any of these ways for kids to earn money. And you are going to love this because it's going to help your child leverage their time and their money so that they can do less and earn more. And honestly, you're probably going to like to learn this as well for yourself so that you can do less and earn more. Am I right? If I'm right, give me a thumbs up. All right, so let's first dive into another couple of fun ways that your child could earn money offline. All right, so let's say that you live in a neighborhood. So you have neighbors close by and you're familiar with them. And your child is really friendly and loves helping people. If that's the case, then another really a really great way for kids to make money is to offer grocery delivery. All right, so this would probably be something you'd have to do with your child depending on how old they are and how close the grocery store is. But let's say you have some elderly people in your neighborhood and they really find it difficult to go shopping. Your child could go and get the grocery list and then go shopping with you, again, depending on their age, and then bring the groceries to that neighbor and get paid for that service. That helps your neighbor and it helps give your child the chance to earn money, and they're doing it because they have a love for helping people. So if that's your child, that's a great way for kids to make money. And of course, another really great way for how to make money for kids is lawn mowing. If your child is old enough that it is safe enough to use a lawnmower, then lawn mowing or gardening or lawn maintenance of some sort is a fabulous way for your child to make some money. So if your child is naturally loves being outdoors, loves nature, loves digging in the dirt, if that's what your child is like, then this is a great way for your child to make money. And a really cool thing, so a friend of mine started his own lawn mowing business when he was a kid. He would just mow his own lawn, obviously, but that he didn't get paid for. He'd mow his own lawn, and then the neighbors were like, wow, if you want to mow my lawn, I'll pay you. And he's like, sweet, okay, I'm in with that. So then he started mowing the neighbors' lawns and getting paid for that, which of course was really exciting. And then he did such a good job because he loved nature and he loved being outdoors that they then told other neighbors, and then he started building this business. And he started it as a kid, and then he just grew it and grew it and grew it. And now he doesn't have to do any of the lawn mowing to earn the money. He runs the business now. He still does because, again, he has a passion for being outdoors and being on, in the working environment. So that is something great that your child can do as long as you're old enough and is safe enough. Another great way for kids for how they can make their own money is to get them to do special chores around your home that are outside the normal family chores. Now, we talked about that in the Allowance for Kids video in the last video that you watched. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure you go and watch that and then just come back. But a cool thing is that outside of the regular household chores that you don't pay your child for, and really don't pay your child for those because they are responsible for being part of the family. So they need to do some chores with no monetization at all, okay? But there are special chores that you would normally pay somebody for. So like for the example of the lawn mowing, maybe you normally pay someone to come and take care of your lawn. If that is the case, you could pay your child to do that service. Now, if you normally don't pay someone and it's just part of the family chores, then it's just part of the family chore. So you need to decide what is a special chore and what is a family chore, okay? And again, go check out that video on allowances. We go much deeper into that and that'll help you a bit there. Other things that you could do is maybe you have some fencing outside that needs painting. So you could hire your child to paint. Maybe they love art, they love painting. That would be a perfect job and it would get them outside in fresh air. So that would be a bonus, win-win, right? Or maybe you need to paint one of your rooms. Something that is outside the normal chores around your home, you can totally pay your child to do those things. Okay, so another way for how to make money as a kid that has nothing to do with the online world, which we'll get into in just a minute, is think about what talent does your child have? Do they have a natural flair for acting or singing or a musical interest or instrument? Something in that relation to do with creativity, art, something like that, because then your child could actually put on a performance or an art gallery or something where people come and pay to see this performance or to hear this performance or to see this artwork. And it can just be by donation. That is another great way to help entertain your local community and help your child make some money. Or maybe your child is just really good at something that another child would really like to learn. So let's say that your child is an amazing soccer player, like their kicks are like dead straight, and the amount of times that they go for a goal and they actually get a goal is like crazy ridiculous, okay? Or maybe they have a special skill for bouncing it on their knees, or, you know, butting it with their heads. They have a special skill, a special talent for soccer or whatever the sport is that your child is into, or even, again, musical instrument. The point here is that your child can teach these skills to other kids. All right, so this could be like a tutoring session. And so that is another way for kids to make money, is that they can teach what they already know to somebody who doesn't know anything yet. And they don't need to be a guru. They don't need to be, you know, a master at their art. They just need to be one step ahead of the person learning. And then they will learn, and then they'll teach, and then they'll learn and they'll teach. And the really cool thing for your child is that the best way to learn something is actually to teach it, because you have to find a way to teach it that makes sense, which means you really learn it well. All right, so now let's find some fun ways for kids to make money online. I'm talking about the world of the WWW, the World Wide Web. How can your child make money online in a safe way, right? Well, first of all, the very first tip I would give you is always manage what your child is working on. You need to be part of it. Now, it doesn't mean you need to do the work, but you need to be aware of it to keep your child safe. So that aside, let's get into some really fun ways how to make money as a kid online. A really great way that I learned about recently that I hadn't thought about until just recently is, if your child is creative, like let's say they're really good at art, or they just have a really keen eye for things that look nice together, your child can do like book covers for people. There are so many people online right now trying to sell their books, trying to make money from home by teaching what they know, but they really have no idea what a book cover would look like, or how nice it is, or even just how to use the programs. Kids are so amazing at knowing how to use paint software, how to use website software. So it's so good right now. It's such a good time for kids to be able to make money. And again, you, the parent, would have to be part of this. So there are places like Upwork and Fiverr that they could actually promote and look for jobs, but again, not as themselves. You would have to set up the account as the parent, and you would have to monitor that they could do the work. You'd have to make sure that they know that this is happening. And so that is definitely another way that you could totally help your child take their creativity and their skills and earn money online. And if we go back to the offline idea of taking their skills and their natural talents and passions and teaching it to someone else, they can totally do this online as well. For that soccer player, for example, if your child's really good at soccer, they could record it on video, how to do a kick, how to bounce the ball, how to hit the ball with their head. You know, they could show how to do it and sell that how-to video to other kids that want to learn how to do it. And this could be across so many different things. If your child is really great at painting, maybe they could teach people how to paint. They could even do live like Zoom calls where they have students pay a fee to join, and then together they have a painting session. Right? There are so many fun ways. Honestly, ask your child. Your child is going to have so many fun ways and so many ideas of how kids can make money. You will be surprised. Your child knows a lot more than you probably know about. Okay, are you ready for the secret? I was going to share with you about the lemonade stand. And again, this could work for a lot of different ways for kids to make money, and well, for us parents to make money too. Okay, so what it is, it's leveraging. All right, so we're going to take the lemonade stand, but instead of running it themselves, if they have a younger sibling or a friend, they're going to hire their younger sibling or their friend to run the lemonade stand, and they're going to pay them half of the profits. All right, and they're going to keep half for themselves. Why would they want to do that? They're only going to earn half, right? But just stick with me. I promise this is going to get really exciting. And the other question is, well, why would the kids want to be hired when they could just set up their own stand and earn the full amount? Again, stick with me. I'm going to explain this. Okay, so for that first question, if your child sets up a stand and hires a child to run the stand, so they don't have to be there anymore, they get to earn the money, they don't have to be there anymore. What does that mean? It means they could set up a second stand and run it themselves and have two stands going, earning full profits on one and half profits on the other. But they can also set up a third stand and just have other people running it and not have to run it themselves, giving them more time for themselves and earning money, leveraging the use of other people. Okay. Now for the second question, aren't these people going to be kind of upset that they don't get the full amount when they're doing the work? No, because your child is offering a service. They provide the tables, they provide the lemonade, they provide the cups, they provide all the marketing. They find the best places to place the lemonade stands. And all your friends have to do, or all their friends have to do, is to simply show up, smile, pour, take the money. That's it. So there's no thought on their end. And so it's a great opportunity to help employ others and learn how to leverage their time. And this can be done in so many different ways. When I was talking about having your child take their passion and turn it into like an online course of how to kick the ball or how to play soccer as like it's much better than what they were first playing it as, leveraging that too. They take the time only once to create the video and they can sell it over and over again. So they don't have to spend the time each time with each new student of how to do it. They can just make that product one time and it will just sell going forward. So it's called leveraging their time and their energy to create that income. Anyway, I hope that was really exciting for you. This is honestly the key. I wish all adults knew this. This is something I wish I had learned as a child. It save you so much time to learn how to do less work and earn more. And you're helping other people earn ways or find ways to earn money too, right? You're helping more kids figure out how to make money as a kid. Am I right? If I'm right, give me a thumbs up. And also leave me a comment below if you have some fun ways online or offline for how to make money as a kid, because that would be really amazing to see. And I look forward to going into the comments and maybe I'll even feature you in a future video. In my Clever Dough Kids Academy, we'll go much deeper into this. We'll get into over 50 ideas for how to make money as a kid. That will just blow your mind. Plus there are an extra 7 bonus ideas that help them leverage and create passive income. So you definitely want to check that out. I'll leave you a link below. Plus, I'll also leave a link below to a book, 50 Money Making Ideas for Kids. You're free and welcome to use them and to get started, but we'll go deeper into it in the Clever Dough Kids Academy. So make sure you check that out. All right, so we found some really fun ways how to make money as a kid, but what if your kid is a teenager? Don't worry, I've got you covered. In my next video, we're gonna go into ways how to make money as a teenager so that we can get your teens set up as well. So we'll do that. And then after that, we're gonna go into how to manage their money so that their money works hard for them so they don't have to work hard for their money for the rest of their lives. Trust me, you're gonna wanna hear this, probably for yourself too. Okay, now if you found today's video helpful, please will you help me and share this video, give it a like, let the algorithm know that you enjoyed it, you found it useful. Again, leave me a comment with your biggest takeaway for how to make money as a kid, any ideas that you have yourself, and please share this video with a friend. I really appreciate you helping me on my mission to empower as many families as possible with solid, good financial literacy for kids. All right, so now those teenagers, are you ready? We're gonna head over here and I'm gonna show you some fun ways for how to make money as a teenager.